My name is Stephen Keith. I am 25, originally from West Palm Beach, but just moved to Fort Myers a couple months ago. And I'm a beekeeper. There's my hives. I appreciate it up. Honeybees are very unique because there are over 200 million different types of insects in this world. And honeybees are the only ones that produce food for us. They're the only ones that humans eat any of their byproduct. And I honestly think, I go to church, I'm a Christian, and I believe God created them specifically for people because the amount of honey they produce is way too much for their hive that they would ever use. Like a lot of other insects, insects are very solitary. There's a lot of solitary insects, and if they live in colonies, they're like 15 or 20. Honeybees, whenever they swarm onto a branch from leaving the hive, the average size swarm is 18,000 bees. So it's just, they were made for like animal husbandry for humans, and it's just a fantastic thing. Honeybees are very cool. One common misconception about bees really is about the people that are around bees, and is that everyone thinks they're allergic. What it is people get stung, they have a reaction, they swell or their face swells up, and they think that they are automatically allergic, when some people just have a more intense reaction than others. But just because you have a reaction doesn't mean you're allergic. If you get bit by an ant, you're going to swell up. You're going to have an ant bite. You're going to have the little white head on your foot, and it's going to be there and it's going to itch. But doesn't mean you're allergic to ants. So only 3% of the population, roughly, is deathly allergic to bees. The biggest role, I would say, that is immediate to humans themselves are the food production. About 1/3 of our food is pollinated by bees, and if it wasn't pollinated by bees, they would have a lot smaller crop. You have native insects that pollinate, wasps and butterflies and other things actually pollinate, but because they have such small colonies of insects, they actually don't pollinate as effective as honeybees do because just the mass, just the sheer number that they have. But just to give you guys an example, a lot of the some beekeepers pollinate for almonds in California. California produces 80% of the world's population of almonds. They have over 1 million acres of almond trees, which requires a lot of bees to be there. They need over 50% of America's population of bees to be in California between February and March. And so what happens is they pay beekeepers to ship their bees on semi-trucks to California so that they can pollinate their trees. Because if they don't have bees, they have about 3 hives every acre or so. And if they don't have bees, what happens is you have an almond tree that has native pollinators. Pollinating a tree, you get about 40 pounds of almonds per tree. You have 3 hives on 1 acre of land with all those trees, and each tree produces 1,400 pounds of almonds per tree. So it goes from 40 pounds to 1,400 pounds of almonds per tree just from having bees on their property. So they pay a lot of money to get as many bees there as possible. And it's not just almonds. Almonds pay generally the most because they can afford to, because almonds are stupid expensive. But cherries and apples and blueberries and oranges and peaches and everything that we love and we eat, we would not have as easy access to, or they wouldn't be as cheap to have them if it wasn't for bees. So that affects people for food, and that affects the economy, because if we didn't have bees getting as big of bounties from these trees, it would be really expensive to have any of these luxuries that we have. Absolutely. It is a antibacterial. It is an anti-inflammatory, and veterinarians use honey for wounds for animals. I don't know if you guys know this. Sea turtles. They have sea turtle sanctuaries that have gotten hit by propellers and that just have wounds from a lot of different things. They actually get donated lots of honey because they use honey on their wounds, and it's non-toxic to the animals. And so it's awesome. And a little bit before that, I believe. And the Zika virus itself is not what killed lots of bees. It's people spraying to prevent mosquitoes being around their businesses and their homes and their communities. That is the fear of Zika, them getting Zika from the mosquitoes. So what ended up happening is they're spraying thousands of chemicals in the air, aerosols, just spraying it all over trees and bushes and everything like that. And it's killing mosquitoes, but it's also killing the bees that are on the flowers, and there's a lot of bees on flowers. But what's really bad is when all that chemical goes downwind and goes with the wind and goes into a bee yard, and now it goes and blows through, and you see the entrances. The entrances are pretty big, and what happens is you have a good draft through here, it goes into the hives and it kills the whole hive, or enough of the hive to where it can't bounce back. That's where it really hurt. But now that Zika's kind of dying down and you haven't really heard much about it, people aren't as paranoid about it, so it's not really affecting me right now. But I know it affected a lot of businesses that were close to Miami and South Florida that was really crazy about it at that point. So it really hurt a lot of beekeepers. Due to human error, I would say bee populations have declined. For instance, it was human error that we brought the varroa mite over here. It's originally from Asia, and just through trade and through people wanting different species of bees and anything like that, it has just crossed into America, has caused the bee population to drop from that, yes. Some people are bad beekeepers, yes. Some people that do this are really good beekeepers, and they have colony collapse disorder, which is, we still don't understand why it happens or what causes it. There is lots of money going into research just to figure out what it is, and they still have no clue what causes it. So, without going too side railed, yes, bee populations have declined, but they're also on the rise because of the knowledge and the understanding and the media and people just knowing more about bees and how important they are, and people realizing how nice they are. They're really not bad bees. They're not really mean unless you cause them to be, like by spraying them or not treating them correctly. People are wanting to become backyard beekeepers. People are wanting to get more into beekeeping because they see it helps their garden. They see it helps the planet, and they learn that it's awesome. If not, they're supporting beekeepers that are around them by helping buy honey, local honey more often, because they understand how important it is for your allergies. And so just the knowledge of knowing about bees has helped either already current beekeepers or new beekeepers to get into it, so that way it helps increase the population of it. So it's going back and forth.